You let me know if there's a cane spider running up on me, and I'll let you know if there's one running up on you. And if either of us are lying about it, you get to kick the other person in the balls. Fair deal?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Hey, I already pointed that one that was right there, which was pretty much right above where you are now, so.
That's true. But so you've already saved my ass before you saved my ass. Or before my ass needed saving.
As a preemptive ass saving.
I like that. This episode of Dying to Shoot is where we drink drinks and cigars and then we talk about shit. And that is all the effort I'm going to put in on describing what we're going to be talking about, because I don't know what we're going to be talking about.
No, we haven't really thought this one through, have we?
No, but it's weird that I can't inhale this. I'm used to my vape.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I'll make it, though.
It's good. You
One
shouldn't
time-
inhale a cigar.
Yeah, no, I know. One time, fuck you. One time I'm going to end up inhaling this. I know that's going to happen, and I'm going to double over. That's great. But for the time being, it's a Hula Girl cigar. And
Yeah.
it's your last night in Maui. And,
Last night in Maui.
And it's been a really good time.
Yeah. So today we went up to Haleakala. Is that how you pronounce it?
That is. Good job.
Haleakala, which was used to be a volcano. Is that what made Maui?
Yes.
It's what made Maui. And it's about, what, 10,000 feet up?
Yeah, 10,000 feet is the summit. 10,023 feet, I think, is what it ended up, like, that final elevation marker was.
Yeah. So we went way up there, saw a bunch of clouds, but saw some cool lighting,
Yeah.
saw some mountaintops, and it was a really great way to, I think, end a pretty great trip in Hawaii.
And it's weird because we were above the clouds,
Yeah.
too. And at 10,000 feet, you don't usually think of clouds being that low.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a whole explanation to it, and it's really scientific, and I don't have time to go into it right now. But essentially, I don't comprehend it, and because of the environment that Haleakala creates, humidity stays lower.
Right.
I just don't have time to go into all the science of it right
All
now.
the just science.
Science. But no, they are low for that. But it's cool to be above the clouds, because when I went up there before, we couldn't see anything. We couldn't see more than 10 feet in front of our faces.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I haven't posted the photos yet, but for this episode, I will post them in the show notes down there.
Cool.
Because I'm still going to put them in a gallery, but I'll put some images up in that Art Project Bahia gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw them in. I'll see if she'll take them in there. She's a really good photographer, so we'll see. Best part of Maui so far.
Man, there's been so many different great things, too. That's what makes it hard to choose, is because it's not like we just did the same thing every day. I mean...
No. We could have, and it would have been a good time.
And that would have still been a good time, because everything we did was fun. But, I mean, everything from, getting that fish and watching you, carve it up, cook it fresh, that was great. And then... meeting your landlords
They're
and
awesome.
hanging out with them and just talking to people who know a lot about Hawaii and the history of Hawaii was great. Just having good conversations is something I enjoy. And then going to the beaches were amazing. The trail up that Wahili? I don't know what it was called. Something with a W.
I don't know the name of the trail.
But that kicked our asses. But it was great though, getting to the top and feeling really accomplished that we survived getting up there.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put a photo of that in the show notes too, because I think we got one of those. It was pretty awesome. I was happy to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even just this, the conversations of you being out here.
Yeah.
I've missed this between friends.
Yeah.
Longtime friends.
Yeah, we're actually doing it face to face.
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something to be said about the actual face-to-face interaction versus, Skype or whatever.
I want to take this super nerdy right now.
Yeah.
If there's a difference between the face-to-face in person and there's something lesser of on a screen, then why do you feel like theater is less than movies? Or not, maybe not less than, but not as good as movies.
Why theater
Yeah.
isn't? Well, I don't hate on theater.
I never
but-
thought you hated on theater, but I
but-
assumed you would appreciate
Well,
movies
because I obviously went the film route instead of the theater route. I think because you can manipulate things better. On camera you can make it more seamless.
Yeah.
They don't have to change the set in the middle and all that stuff, which I think takes you out of it. I've gone to a bunch of different plays, and I do appreciate it. I think there's something to said about seeing a performance live. I think that's great from an acting standpoint. You're breathing the same air that the actor's breathing, and you're right there in their presence. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to diminish that in any way, but every time I've seen a play, I still, in the back of my mind, I still know that I'm watching a play.
Yeah, you kind of need front seats
Right.
to be able to sit there and watch a play and really get into it so much that you forget that you're watching a play. Like, I can't imagine you being like I've sat at the back of plays and I've sat in the middle. I've never sat in the front. But yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I lit that right.
No. I think I just after you go a while out
just
taking a
burns
drag,
the
it
top.
just yeah.
Yeah.
But no, and now especially being a filmmaker, I think some of that mystique is gone. Where I still also know that I'm always watching a movie. When I'm watching a movie, I don't get lost in it as much. But I feel like it's still a little bit easier to get lost in it in moments. Whereas a play, I'm still always seeing it as more of a performance than an actual real life, like peering into the window of a real life event or something like that.
Do you think that if plays didn't work the same way, like if they, let's say, were, I don't know, like they didn't project to the audience as much, but they were just loved, and it was like they were doing a take on a movie,
Yeah.
but there was no cameras, and an audience showed up to watch it?
Right, so they would do more subtle gestures and stuff like that because they...
Much more subtle
Yeah.
gestures, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, plays were
it's
made
hard.
and turned into that for a reason. But I mean, still, like in this day and age, we've been used to the smaller gestures.
Yeah, it's also hard too to because I've been on a set where we actually did a live recording.
Mm-hmm.
So we were trying to do like how they did with Cheers and those kind of shows where it was
Oh, shit,
performed
that's
in front
cool.
of a
Yeah,
live studio. So it was a hybrid between a TV show and a play. But that was kind of difficult. We did live them because we needed to record their audio.
Totally.
But it was difficult with them still being all in motion on the stage to not have it pick up sound like fabric noises and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a silicone piece. Did I send this to you? It's a really cool invention. There's a piece of silicone that has a little cylinder hollowed out in it that you can slip the lav into, and it doesn't pick up on any of this shit. Like going back and forth. It's fucking brilliant. You can just secure it to the person's actual chest with surgical adhesive,
Oh.
and it's like surgical tape. It's like super cheap, and it's
Is this a newer thing?
yeah. I think I sent you an email about it when we first started recording, so probably like back in June or May. March, April, May, somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah, because this was a couple years ago that we did this, so I guess that wasn't around then.
No, well, it probably wasn't, but it does make you think too about like, well, it's just a piece of silicone with a microphone in it
Yeah.
to stop it from jostling around.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's not.
It's like, what other things are we having problems with right now that people already have solutions for, but nobody's come out with a product yet?
Yeah.
What's-
That's true.
Is there anything that you can think of, like product-wise, that you'd want to see made for film that would make your life way easier?
I don't know. I think anything that eliminates the amount of people needed involved in it. I like being able to work with very small crews.
Would you ever
So,
want to do a documentary?
Um,
I know. I realize that I'm just giving you rapid fire questions, and you're getting halfway through answering them before I give you another question. But I'm just going to keep doing that.
no, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I've done small scale documentary work before. I've enjoyed it.
No, I mean, but like go out on your own and do your own like documentary, like feature length.
Yeah, I guess I would have to find a story that I felt worth. Like, I wouldn't just go out to do a documentary to do a documentary. I would probably first hear about some story that I wanted to cover.
Would you want to research a story? Or would you want to just be like, if it comes to me, it comes to me. If not, if not.
I don't know. I'd like to be more involved in the telling the story process. Maybe have someone working with me who did more of the research. Because that doesn't sound
Oh my God. Stick to fucking
as fun.
make pretend. Jesus.
Yeah, but there's a lot to filming, editing, and all of that.
Totally is. There totally is.
I mean, it's not like
it's. I'm just laughing because it's like so counter to like my way I go at it, and it's just
you
it's
like
not
the
right.
research.
Oh fuck! You gotta research it, man. You gotta know it so that like when you're getting different shots in and everything, you know what you're looking for and any significance to it. Like for Edge of Grip, I tried to do a lot of shots that were very similar to 24-hour Le Mans, because Le Mans is a race that's held in France. It's a 24-hour race. They cycle out drivers. It's about the Audi team, and it's about them winning and winning and winning and just slaying at this race year after year after year.
Mm-hmm.
And people will come and show up just to watch their pit crews practice. The people who change the tires, fill the tank up with gas, all that shit.
Yeah.
There would be like all the other crews. Well, they're not practicing. They already know how to do everything, as does the Audi team. But all the crews show up just to watch them run through it and go through it and do it and everything. This race is 24 hours, and I wanted to make it feel like if anybody had seen that, I had some relatively similar shots in that they did in 24 hours of Le Mans because at the end of it, I mean, it's this long fucking race that just burns you out, and that was what the season was to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they could have done a better job on the cinematography. I think a lot of the footage they got was from like TV crews and stuff like that who were shooting stuff, and they got that footage from them. And they uploaded it. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they got it directly from Audi. They probably got it directly from. They got it directly from Audi. They fucking did. I know they did.
See, that's different kind of research than what I thought you meant though. See, you're talking about watching other kind of racing documentaries, right? To see style, storytelling, whatever. But I thought you meant like
Also,
learning everything about racing.
Oh.
Like not from the film aspect, but
That-
from the actual subject matter itself.
Yeah, that I didn't.
Because then you'd have to be a subject matter expert in everything you make a documentary about.
Which it feels like you end up being by the time you're done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you've learned about it as you've made it, but
The funny thing is, I understand racing now. I know how to do it, and I know how to I know exactly how to execute it. Here's another thing I know. I could never fucking do it.
really?
No. No, dude.
You mean being the actual race car driver?
Yeah, then that would be too much for me. Like I wouldn't. It's too fucking intense. I could not handle
Wow.
it. Yeah, it's way too much, dude.
Because you seem to, drive a fair amount. Like the road trip stuff and all that. Like you don't seem to really be bothered. I know it's different driving, but you also driving on the side of a cliff
Yeah, it's,
which is another form of intense.
it's there's a lot of physics and geometry in there that goes into actually driving it that you have to be consciously aware of. When your car goes through a turn, where it like angles into the turn,
Yeah.
where the back end angles in, and then when to get immediately perfectly at the right time, get back on the gas for each individual turn. It's called the apex.
But isn't that a lot of muscle memory? Like once you do it a lot, because I mean, for
Turns
example,
are different, dude.
yeah,
It doesn't sound like that. Doesn't sound like it sounds like that's something that's super simple, but turns are really different. I mean, you have to study how to go through each turn again and again and again, and then once you get it and you got it, then you've got it. But you've got to go through turns a lot of different times to really get the feel of a track, because check this out: if you hit T1 turn, if you hit the first turn wrong, then that means that every other turn that you're going to hit is going to be wrong.
mm-hmm.
You can't hit every other turn right until you hit turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way around to 30, however many turns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, until you hit each one in succession right, you're not going to hit every other one right. Because there's an angle on the track that you need to be following, straight lines that you need to be following until the gear up to each turn. Your shifting has to be fucking flawless. I mean, fuck, like, and like you see Zach shift, you don't even see his fucking foot. Like 4 frames,
Mm-hmm.
4 frames, and his foot had gone down to the floor and back up. He had shifted in 4 fucking frames. How fast was I shooting?
24 frames per second.
That's fucking right. So 4 to 24. That's,
So that's a
1/6
sixth of a second.
and he was done. He was already done.
Right.
It's fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fast. And you know how you drive? When you drive, your heels, they just sit on the floor, right? And you operate with your ankles and all. He doesn't do that. Feet stay up all the time. So he holds his legs up the entire time he's sitting in the chair. Like that's fucking core strength and shit. Like
Wow.
I could learn how to do it. I know I could learn how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really, really intense to be very, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt. Like, I could learn the basics, like physically do it, but get an old BMW like E30, like one of the old BMWs you see driving around and all.
Mm-hmm.
Get one of those and take it to a track or drive it down on a highway, and learn how to like use it and maneuver it and work it really well. But I mean, it's not like a hobby, like for people who don't have insanity for money.
Right.
It's absolutely a lifestyle, and there's a reason that people give up literally everything in order to do that one thing.
Yeah.
Racing, like a fucking drug.
Yeah.
Mine's out, yours out.
No, I'm still going.
You're still going. That's cool. I'm gonna take mine.
Need a lighter?
Honestly, I don't want to sound like a pussy. I can't do it anymore. I really can't. Like it's like I feel my chest tightening up because of it. So I'm going back to vaping.
Cool.
Yeah. That's cinnamon, and you got like this chocolate typey, like heavy cigar.
Yeah.
Still works, yeah.
Goes good with the coffee.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a lot to racing. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
But no, I don't think you can be I don't like. I think it's a bad idea to be an expert before you go into a documentary. Like maybe it's not a bad idea, but have a little bit of knowledge, but then learn stuff along the way, and don't make a documentary about something you're not interested in at all.
Right.
Because then you can go into it, and when you're interviewing, you're like, dude, fucking. But how do you do this? How do you do this? Where you get this turnaround at this point? Like, how do you know that the tires aren't going to come off the track? Like, you're going to get interested in it. Like, I finished up the documentary. I wanted to buy a fucking race car, or buy a stock car and an old E30 or a Porsche 944 and turn it into like just a stock racing car. But I mean, like, my lifestyle didn't allow me to do that, which is
Mhm.
fine, because that's the lifestyle I'm choosing to have.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I think you need to have like this mentality that like you want to learn, and that's why you're asking these questions. You're not asking questions just to get the answers you already know about.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I've been rambling for a while.
No. Oh, I agree. I think that you should have a base knowledge in it, but I mean, you can't really be an expert because if anything, you're gonna be an expert at it. It should be filmmaking because that's what you're doing. That's what your job is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that should be first and foremost because your job is to tell the story of the whatever the documentary is about. You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you work with other people who do the research, or you learn, like we said, as you go along with it.
Right.
You know, you're interviewing people and learning stuff. I mean, one of like we did the thing with the musicians.
Yeah.
And I'm not a music person in terms. I mean, I like listening to music, but I'm not in terms of playing it.
Right,
You know,
right.
I didn't have no expertise in that. And then the other one I did was the when NATO came to Chicago, and I
Mhm.
did a documentary about that.
Remember that? Yeah.
And
Big deal.
I don't even know much of anything about NATO.
Right.
But it was more just the whole mood of the city and the people coming out to protest and more of that story, really. And just the emotions that it evoked in people, you know. That's
It was more a
what
story
I
about
was capturing.
people than it was a story about them, their ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were more interested in the human condition.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So,
Because that's how I am too. Like, if the person's interesting, it doesn't matter what's about. I mean, I went from race driving to stone carving.
right.
It doesn't matter what the subject is. It matters about the people.
Right, the person telling the
Maybe
story.
the subject matter does matter, I guess, but
Right, but a subject matter could be the same subject matter could be really interesting or really boring, depending on who the focus is on.
Right.
I mean, you could do a boring thing about, I don't know, even the most seemingly exciting subject matter, you know. But if it just drags
totally.
on, if it's not good storytelling or not good people that you're interviewing or basing the story on, I mean, it's going to be boring. So,
yeah. Hey, would you want to do an Edge Grip commentary with me?
okay.
We don't have to do that tonight, but I mean, like,
Just
maybe, like, whenever
watch
we get
it
back to
and
Chicago.
then record.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be fun to do.
yeah,
It'd be a lot of fun.
yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times do you think should I watch it before you do the commentary? Because I should be somewhat familiar
How many
with
times
it.
have you seen it yet? Like the where it's at right now? Because right now it's at like an hour 16 minutes.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Uh-uh.
You want to watch it tonight and do commentary on it anyway? Just even though it's first time? Or would that not be something you want? No, yeah, you should see it before. You should see it before.
Yeah, because I don't want to talk through it while I'm watching it.
Yeah,
the first
and
time.
you know what? If I was watching it with you, I'd be talking through it the whole time anyway.
Yeah, and I couldn't really give accurate commentary.
Right. No, that's true. You need to know what you're talking about when you sit down and watch something.
Yeah.
So you can expect what's to come and everything. Watch it as many times as you want to. I mean, like, my YouTube views will go up. That's nice.
Yeah.
But it's private for
Right.
now. But yeah, we had a good time when you were out here.
Mm-hmm.
You're the first person to see kind of like how we live and everything too, which is pretty cool because it's different.
Yeah. Well, that's what I really like that. I mean, even though we did do some quote-unquote touristy things, it was still, at the end of the day, we're still coming back to this place in the jungle, and, you know, it's it was still felt like the real experience.
Yeah.
You know, seeing it, you know, firsthand, day in the life of kind of thing, which
Walking
I
to
think
the
was
farm
cool.
and picking up food. What was the weirdest thing?
I think, yeah, I think the whole
If it was the door, that's totally cool.
the door.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The non-existent door.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. They have a bathroom without a door.
Pretty classy.
Yeah. That was
So we have to leave. My wife and I leave when we go to the bathroom. It's fun. It's good times.
That was a little weird. I think the whole farming thing was kind of weird too. Going up, just walking in there,
Yeah.
how there's not even necessarily anyone there. You just
Right.
open the fridge, take stuff, put money in.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of weird. I think that kind of hippie drum circle was a little weird.
Yeah.
Although that's stuff that I have seen in Chicago too.
Mm-hmm.
But
The
just
boy dancing and stuff. Like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I've seen that before.
Right.
But you know, it's way more interesting on the beach of Hawaii than some park in Chicago.
Right.
That's for sure.
Feels a little bit more authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like you guys got here and have no way to leave. You're more authentic.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That's how it is for a lot of people who come out here, but it can happen to anybody who comes out here. You never know what to expect, really.
So people come out here trying to just find work and making a life, and then they run out of money.
I don't know so much as that they come out here trying to find work. I think it's that they've been like travelers before, and then they come out here, and then they see that there's a ton of people bumming it, and slinging weed and meth, a lot of meth out here, unfortunately. But lots of that out here, and then they just are like, oh, okay, I wonder if I can do that too. Well, maybe I can, maybe I can't. Well, I'll give it a shot. And then that's why you get people offering you shrooms in the shrooms on the street every single day you walk down in Bahia.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah, there is a really large hippie community. And I mean hippie in the sense where it really feels authentically hippie. Not like, you walk around Chicago and yeah, there's going to be people with long hair, maybe tie-dye t-shirts, whatever. But in Chicago, it seems more like a style. Like they like to look that way or whatever, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
you used to look that way.
Used to look that way too. But what
tie-dye t-shirts and long hair described you perfectly.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. But the what's different about it here is that they really seem all in with every aspect of the hippie culture from the 60s, where they're living on farms, they're growing their own food, they don't have a lot of money, a lot of them are probably homeless, and they're just wandering around and doing drugs, surfing, whatever. Like they're literally living and breathing that lifestyle, for better or worse. I'm not even passing judgment. I mean, that it's just calling it as I observe it, And it's really interesting that, I didn't think that kind of, I mean, I knew that people did live like that,
Right.
but I didn't know it's such large amount. I mean, I'd say it's like a fourth of the people that I met here.
Yeah.
I think I met more people like that than actually native Hawaiians.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the case. That's definitely the case.
Yeah.
And I mean, they call them howlers, the people who move out here, and they,
Howlers?
yeah,
So what does that mean? Where does that come
I have
from?
no idea. I have no idea. I think it's actually howlees. I don't even pay attention to fucking cats. Messing with my mic cord.
That doesn't have anything to do with like Howleen.
No,
like
I
a
have
dog.
no idea. It could.
Okay.
It totally could.
Yeah,
I have
maybe
no
they're
idea.
referring them like dogs.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
yeah, there's a lot of those kind of people here.
Yeah. But I mean, that doesn't. It doesn't bother me. It never bothers me. That's the same thing about. Here we go about politics. That's the same thing about like immigration and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think anybody has a problem with immigration. Period.
Mm-hmm.
But illegal immigration is the thing that people have problems with,
Mm-hmm.
and we just need to make that process simpler. A lot fucking simpler.
Yeah.
But that won't happen for a long time. Anyway, and that's the same thing that's here. Is it's that people don't have problems when people move here and then contribute to the society, meaningfully, in whatever way that is. But when people come out here and it's like it's bums asking people for money, and that's okay when you really need it and everything, and do whatever you need to do to get by. But
When you're just actively choosing it as a
I'm-
lifestyle because it's easy.
because it's easy, and because when I see somebody who's holding up a cardboard sign and saying need food, hungry, and behind the sign they're texting on their smartphone,
Right.
like, I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Like,
I mean, there's actually probably a lot more illegal immigrants that contribute more to society than a lot of these people actually do.
yeah. The only problem is they're not paying taxes, so they have that. But
That's not actually true in all cases.
no, but I worked a lot in construction, and that's where I saw it. And I
Yeah.
was like, all right, do whatever you want. I mean, like, that's
Right.
not.
That's actually
I'm
more,
not
I
gonna be
think,
the one who
more the
calls fucking
employer's fault because then they're
yeah.
paying them under the table.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that's
I
and
mean-
that's really what it ends up being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that cat really wants
Fucking cats.
in on this thing.
Yeah, he does. That's all right. He's not gonna get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Maui's really fucking cool. I don't know how long we'll be here for, but I mean, we'll be here as long as it suits our needs, and then as soon as it doesn't, as soon as something else might suit our needs better, whether it be Montana, whether it be, oh God, I'd love to go out to Rhode Island. I want to go out there so badly, and or Chicago or whatever. Then
Yeah.
then that'll work too. But for right now, this works, and it's great to just fucking ride it.
Yeah, that's great. I wish I could just have a chapter of my life in Maui
Don't say
or
that
somewhere.
shit. Don't say that shit.
What do you mean?
Because you can do that. You can do that. You have the ability
Yeah.
to do that. Don't say, I wish that was this. If you're going to say anything, say, I wish I didn't love my job and the flexibility that it allows me to go ahead and go out and travel and do these other things. And I wish I didn't have that, or I wish I didn't care so much about that
Right.
more than I care about, going and moving to fucking Maui.
Yeah.
Because those are two different things.
Yeah.
And to be honest, people say that all the time where it's like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could go out and do this. I was talking to the hotel valet at the Venetian. Dude's dad owns the Venetian Hotel, like in Vegas. And his dad didn't start him off as a manager or some shit like that. He was a bellhop. And he comes out, he says, so where are you guys from? And I usually don't say because it's a whole bunch of explaining. And if it's just a generic question to the whole crew. And they were like, oh, California, San Francisco, Los Angeles, north, south side, whatever. And somebody was just like, oh, this dude's from Maui, though. And he's like, oh, Maui. He's like, oh, my God. Dude, I wish I could go out there. And then the whole time he was with us, all the way the walk straight through the hotel and everything, he just kept saying that. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. And I was like, dude, if you want to do it, you can do it. He's like, no, I can't. He's like, because I've got this here that I've got to be working on. I've got this here. I was like, then don't say that you wish you could do it. Say that you wish that you didn't love these other things as much as you want the experience of going out and being able to do X,
Yeah.
Y, or Z. Because they're two different. Because
Yeah, that's true.
anybody
Well,
can get rid
even-
of their shit, save money, and move wherever the fuck they want.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
reestablish themselves there. Anybody can do that.
That's true, but also the other added onto it isn't. I mean, yeah, a lot of it is loving my job, but also if I gave up my job to just move somewhere else on a whim without any actual job or plan in place, I mean, my parents would never talk to me again. So it wouldn't even be just giving up a job. It'd be
Then it's
literally
fear, then it's fear of that
losing.
too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Then it's fear of that too. I mean,
Yeah.
and that sucks. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought it was gonna. I thought it was gonna be the same way for me too. But like, maybe not never talk to me again, but definitely like hold a resentment, hold a grudge.
Yeah. But you did make it work though. I mean,
I
it's
made it
not
work.
like you're broke and
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, that's saying that without you even trying to go out and do it. Being like, oh, well, you made it work, so obviously it's good for you. But if it didn't work out, it's like, but it did. You know?
right,
And it worked because I got out and I fucking hustled, and I made it work with a wife and a dog, too.
right.
And, I mean, that's all
Oh, I
it
mean, I'm not
takes.
saying it's easy.
No, it's definitely not.
But like we were talking about before, I think it's a certain type of person, that can do that. Because I mean, in a sense, I didn't. I even had it easier, and I couldn't do it. What I'm referring to is when I was freelancing in Chicago. I mean, that was my hometown. I mean, if I can't make it doing that in my hometown, where I actually have some connections, I mean, the odds of me being successful at it in the uprooting somewhere totally, where it also will cost a lot of money just to move out there too. I mean, I'm just going based off it. So it's not like I've only worked, the steady job, and am just totally afraid. I mean, I started out doing that kind of work,
Yeah.
so that's why I don't have faith in doing something like that.
Right. Right. But I mean, say that you're making like 30 grand a year. I know you're making more than that, but let's just say you're making 30 grand a year. That's about $2,000 a month after taxes. And it's maybe like 3,500 or 35,000 a year, whatever, but after taxes. But I mean, let's say you're making 30 grand a year after everything else. And it's $2,000 a month. I mean, if you like, you can save and you can still put away on that much money. And if you can't, then maybe you should pick up another job or do whatever else. But you just have to decide what's important to you. And wishing or hoping that, like, oh, I'm not the type of person that can do this. Like, I think all that means is just that, you're saying that, or not you particularly, but I'm just saying people in general are saying that, oh, I wish I could do that. It's just like, I'm too afraid to get out of my own comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fucking terrified to get out of my comfort zone. I mean, every single test I take, as far as personality-wise goes, it's like, you are introvert. You are a hardcore introvert. But I am married to somebody who is much more of an extrovert. And I am put in that situation every day to be more extroverted. And I live a lifestyle where I have to be more extroverted, whether it's doing the podcast, or whether it's going out and meeting new people, which is something my wife loves to do, and God, I can't stand doing. Like, I'm just like, can I just be happy knowing the people that I know? I'm always rated as an introvert, but what I want to do requires me to be more extroverted. So if that's what I want to do, then I need to overcome that thing that's stopping me from being able to do that, even if it's not my natural thing. I think we're born into thinking, I'm this way, or I'm X, or I'm Y, or I'm Z. And we can't change that. And I mean, granted, I'm not saying that there's not mental problems in the world where people are like, no, this is something I'm really struggling with, or physical problems, or whatever. I'm not saying that there's not that. I'm just saying that if you want to do something and it doesn't feel like it's in the cards for you, then maybe you should ask for a new hand. And when you ask for a new hand, understand that that means that you're going to have to change something about yourself to get what you actually want. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I have become, I mean, I still consider myself an introvert overall, but I think that working at my job has actually made me more extroverted, because I've had to do a lot of conference calls, a few presentations here and there, presentations in front of a decent amount of people.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, that one where...
And important people, too, yeah.
And that's what you were saying with that one that you walked into. What was that? Tell that story again, because I want to hear that again.
Oh, yeah, about how basically I had this presentation to give, and I knew, like, I was kind of anxious, and I had, you know, the butterflies or whatever, but I knew that I had to give the presentation regardless, and I didn't have time to be nervous. So I actually consciously got rid of those feelings. Like, I actually took control, and I walked up and then just gave the presentation totally fine. Like, if there could have been 1,000 people in the room,
Right.
you know, it didn't matter. I just got in the rhythm,
Yeah.
and I was even humorous. I made people laugh, and I was really comfortable. I even got complimented afterwards that I did a good job. And it was just me literally consciously going, no, I don't have time to be afraid right now.
Yeah.
You know,
love
because I
that-
totally
love that line.
was. Yeah.
I love that line. I don't have time to be afraid right now.
You-
That's so fucking good.
You know where I kind of actually got that from?
Where?
Was, and it's funny because it's so cheesy, but I was actually thinking of it in the moment going up to this presentation, was Jesse Ventura's character in the original Predator, where the guy's like, you're bleeding, he's like, I ain't got time to bleed. And I mean, it's such,
God, that's brilliant.
it's
That's
such a,
so good.
it's so ridiculous and such an absurd moment, you know?
Yeah.
But that kind of mantra almost, you know, carries over where it's
Yeah.
like shit's going down, you know, gushing blood out of his arm or whatever. He's just like, I ain't got time to bleed. And that's what I was literally thinking that kind of in the Jesse Ventura voice. I'm like, I ain't got time to be nervous. Like,
That's awesome though. But I mean, if you wanted like, and I don't think you do. I don't think this is like that. This whole lifestyle that we have, I don't think this is exactly what you want and everything. But if you were to say like, okay, I'm going to narrow down exactly where I want to live, what I want to do, and who do I have to be in order to get that? Well, I'm still going to be myself. That's never going to change.
right.
And but I need to be able to acquire attributes that'll allow me to get to that place and to be able to do that thing. I think that's just the same thing. You know, being able to say like, you know, I don't have time to be afraid. I don't have time to be nervous. I don't have time to be able to say, what if? No, it's gonna work because when I go out there, I'm gonna hustle my ass off. I'm gonna make it work. You could go and do this in New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
You know, like New Orleans is a massive fucking film scene right now. Atlanta is big too. I mean, that place, New York, dude, Vancouver, you could go anywhere the fuck you want to in the world and be able to do what it is you want to be able to do. Whatever that may be. But you have to have that mindset set up and like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it. And I don't have time for any other feelings because I understand that not to, again, like what you said, like not to sound too fucking cheesy, but this is all I got left.
Mhm.
Like this is like I have time. My heart has a certain number of beats that it's gonna hit before, you know, it doesn't do that anymore, and that's gonna be the end. This entire life, no matter what you believe, whether it's reincarnation or whether you believe heaven, hell, whatever, or just cease to exist. This is the only chance we have here in this lifetime to be able to choose we want to do what with our lives. We want to be able to influence who with our lives. This is it. There's no second show, there's no encore, there's nothing. Like I even stand by this. Like I believe heaven, hell, all that shit, but at the same time, I still think it's a very different place. And this is the only one of these that we get. This is never going to happen again. We'll never get it a second go.
Right.
So if that's the case, then make sure you do whatever the fuck it is you want, because I don't want to be laying on my deathbed saying, I would have done this, but I was afraid of what this person would say.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too. I don't want to just, even though it's a big thing that I know is important, but I don't want to just work for retirement, you know?
Fuck no.
Like, I don't want to just work for when I'm old, and then I'll have money to take care of myself when I'm old.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. I'd rather just live a vibrant life while I'm young and hopefully middle-aged, and then I'd rather just end it.
Yeah, fucking seriously, dude. I would rather do exactly what I wanted to up until the point where I couldn't do it anymore. I had to put a shotgun in my mouth. And I mean that with 100% like authenticity. I would rather do that than save up just to be able to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's not anything against older people who are older or anything like that, too.
No, they should all kill themselves.
That's basically, yeah, what I'm trying to get. No. I know somebody would write something that would be like, fucking, you hate old people now. Oh, fucking old people. No, nobody would write in. Maybe somebody will. If we get that comment, I'll like it. But no, I mean, I don't want that, you know? To be able to have the balls to be able to be like, okay, I've done my thing. This is it. And this is everything. It takes a lot. But whatever.
Yeah.
For right now, I still get to make immature decisions and go, wee!
Yeah.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, we'll see. What decision would you make if you didn't have anything holding you back? And I'll answer if first or second, whatever you want to.
Wait, what
If
decision?
you had absolutely nothing holding you back whatsoever, financially or anything wise, what would you want to do? Where would you want to be? And what would you want to be doing?
I'd probably want to move. I'd probably want to go to either California, Florida, or maybe Hawaii now, and just work on my own film stuff. You know, if I didn't have to worry about money.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I'd do.
If you didn't have to worry about money. So that's an X. That's a something. So that's a something that you would have to.
That's a big something.
Well, I mean, what's I mean, like in all reality, like what's like not what's money, but like what's the number you need to hit in order to be able to say I'm safe, I'm comfortable, I'm secure, I'm not going to worry about any of this other shit. Because I know personally, I know what my number is, and I know I haven't hit it, and I'm okay with that because I'm not trying to actively hit it right now. I'm just trying to create shit and make myself a better artist.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you have that number, I mean, what would you have to invest in yourself and learn and then teach to other people that you'd be able to hit that number and be able to do that? You know? Do you know what I'm saying? There's ways to make money outside of regular job.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah,
because
but
you do
it's
freelancing and shit and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that it's a lot harder to do that. So, I think that's the ultimate fear is giving it up to go do that and then failing, which is obviously probably a 50-50, maybe even worse, maybe worse than 50-50. And that's not good enough for me.
Why is it 50-50?
Or maybe worse than 50-50.
Okay, or maybe worse than 50. Why is it maybe worse than 50-50 or 50-50? Like there's some sort of like.
Because I think if it was a lot, I think if it was better odds, then more people would do it.
Okay, what if the odds are better, but people don't want to do it because they're afraid that they'll be in the percentage that won't? Because I mean, dude, all it takes is to get out there and just fucking hustle. I mean, and just work for the work. And I mean,
yeah.
So
I guess I don't have the drive to work for the work.
Okay, that's all. We talked about that earlier today.
Right,
so.
Exactly. Like I don't mind doing a 60 to 80 hour week. Like it's not about actually putting the work in, but it's that work to get the work. You know, to make the contacts, to get the clients, so that then you do have the time or the opportunity to work those long hours. You know. Right, like we already talked about before. That's what it comes down to, I guess.
Right. So.
And that's just knowing me, so.
Yeah, right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's your concern, and that's valid. I'm never, not at all saying it's not valid at all.
Right.
Totally is. I mean, because that's yours, and nobody can say that's valid or invalid except for you.
Because I'm like, again, going back to the first 3 years. If I was able to make that work in Chicago, then maybe I would have more confidence about it working elsewhere.
Do you think that with your skills that you have now, you could do better in freelancing than you did before? Do you
I
feel
mean, I definitely think that I'm better than I was before.
Sure.
But I think that a lot of it doesn't necessarily boil down to this. I mean, skill is what matters once you get the gigs. But I don't think skill necessarily matters in you getting those gigs.
So do you think your reel matters or no?
Do you think what?
Your reel?
My reel? Yeah, I mean, I think that matters, but I think there's a lot of people with reels. I think it's part of it's just knowing the right people, part of it's luck, being in the right place at the right time. I mean, skill definitely matters, but I think it's only a portion of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's enough of it. But maybe I think I would, and it is hard having that mentality of knowing that, well, now I have almost 2 full years of experience actually in a corporate world, actually doing this work, doing, film work. So I know that puts me up at a much better spot, and so maybe it's hard of me recognizing that, since I remember the 3 years when I had no experience and how hard that was.
Sure.
I'm still at the mentality is, okay, if I lose this, I'm like somehow going back to what I was before, which I know obviously isn't the case.
Right.
But when all you know is that, or doing your 40-hour work week, like, it's hard to know that, or hard to remind yourself that when you're doing the freelancing again, that, maybe your odds are better.
Right. Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta say it too. I just gotta jump in because I love that we were on two opposite sides of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were totally on my side or I was totally on your side, this would be a really boring conversation.
It would just be us agreeing with each other the whole time.
Yeah. But I think that you got some ash in your shirt, by the way.
Oh.
I think that freelancing isn't an end-all be-all solution. I think that being present online and being able to teach online is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's fully utilized yet, but it's getting there, especially for film. It's really getting there there's a lot of film stuff that you can learn online and stuff. But there's still people out there. We're still in the next 1 year, we're going to have another 1.5 billion people active online. And they're going to be able to order things, and they're going to be able to buy things, and they're going to be able to learn things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to change things a lot. That's another, fifth of our world, sixth of our world, whatever, being fully connected.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you add on that, and those people who are looking to learn things and do things,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another 1.5 billion people. I mean, that's fucking huge. I can't even wrap my head around that number.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were saying with, when you're thinking about, 10 feet, 30 feet, 10,000 feet, where we were up at today. And you're like, I can't even wrap my head around 10,000 feet, let alone, 68,000 or 62,000 feet.
Yeah.
It's just how can anything be that tall? Or
Right.
whatever. It's crazy.
Without being in outer space.
Right.
That's what it felt.
Right.
I mean, we're already above the clouds. You're talking about going 6 times higher than this?
Well, you're talking about clouds that are at 10,000 feet instead of 30,000 feet to begin with, which is where
Right.
you're normally used to seeing clouds at.
Okay, right. Okay, fair enough, yeah. But still, that is then twice above normal clouds. The 60,000.
60,000 is twice
Right.
above normal clouds, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And wait, how high are airplanes normally?
30,000 feet.
35. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay. Wow.
Intense.
Yeah, that is.
You done?
Yeah.
Cool. See ya.
See ya.